When his son was born, best-selling author Brad Meltzer started thinking about his baby's future, launching an 8-year labor of love that became the book Heroes for My Son. The question he pondered: who do I want my child to be? A dreamer? A pioneer? A peacemaker? So many heroes with lessons for us all. And Brad Meltzer joins us now. Thanks for those home movies.
Listen, I aim to please.
You started thinking about this the night your son Jonas was born.
I did. 8 years ago, my son was born, and I decided I'm going to write a book that lasts his whole life, that I can give to him one day and teach him how to be a good man. And I went home that first night from the hospital, and I started writing rules to live by. And then someone told me this amazing story about the Wright brothers. They said every time the Wright brothers would go out to fly their plane, they'd bring enough materials for multiple crashes, which means every time they went out, they knew they were going to fail. And they would crash and rebuild, and that's why they took off. And I said, I love that story.
They had a backup plan, too.
Yeah.
BP could have learned something from that.
They could, and I said, but I'm going to that's the book I'm going to write for my son. Not a book of rules, but a book of heroes. From Jim Henson to Rosa Parks to Mr. Rogers. And I'm going to show him actual proof that anything in this world is possible.
But you chose not just famous people, but a mix of people. One of your favorites, Officer Frank Shankwitz.
Yeah, Frank Shankwitz is a police officer who found out about a boy with leukemia who also wanted to be a police officer. He had a little motorcycle uniform made for the boy, and when the boy fell into a coma, this police officer went to his room to pin little motorcycle wings on the boy. As he pins the wings on the boy wakes up out of the coma and smiles. When the boy dies, on the way back from the funeral, Officer Frank Shankwitz says, you know, we made that kid really happy for just one day. We should do that for other kids. And that's how the Make-A-Wish Foundation is born.
One person.
One person. I said, that's what I want my son to hear, that you can have a good idea and share it with someone and change the entire world.
What I also love about the book is that you throw some surprises in there. I was looking through it last night and looking through a book of heroes, and I come upon Lucille Ball.
Yeah, Lucille Ball, I used to watch. You have good taste. Lucille Ball, I used to watch her reruns with my grandparents. She had a miserable childhood. She had lived with a grandmother who thought happiness was a sin, allowed no mirrors in the house because she thought they led to vanity, and had no friends. She used to play in a chicken coop of all places. And what happened was she learned to make funny faces by looking at her reflection in trolley car windows. But it's the greatest lesson of Lucille Ball's young life and the great lesson of every episode of I Love Lucy, and that is humor can take on anything. And I said, that's what I want for my son to see. That's what I want my daughter to see, is that humor can do that. And that's, you know, it's not just about what you're capable of on one day, you're capable of on any day. That's the dream.
One of the things that gets you through life.
Yeah.